In this lesson, we will be talking about the kings. An old French proverb once said, "Fortune promotes everyone without reason or choice. The fools on the chessboard are nearest to the king." Now, chess was founded in India around 3,500 years ago, and the king was revered as a Shahanshah, an emperor or king of kings. He was worthy of respect, protection, and even worship. The king is the most important piece on the board, so always keep that in mind. On the chess battlefield, the king is as weak and simple as a pawn because it moves very slowly. In fact, the king is the slowest piece in the game. But even with that said, it commands the respect worthy of a god. For if the king is attacked and placed in a position where he is unable to escape danger, the empire is lost, also known as checkmate. So let's talk about the kings and get into this. This is what our kings look like. Throughout today's lesson, I'll be referring to this king as the Lemonade King and this king as the Chocolate King. So let's go ahead and place them in their starting positions. The Lemonade King is going to start at coordinate E1 and the Chocolate King starts at coordinate E8. Now keep in mind that the kings are the slowest pieces in the game and they move very slowly. Just imagine that they carry all of the gold in the kingdom and they're just going to carry that gold wherever they move. So Lemonade moves first, and forward for Lemonade is moving in this direction toward the rank of 8, and forward for Chocolate is moving in the opposite direction toward the rank of 1. So he's going to move forward one space, and he's going to move diagonally forward to coordinate D7. He's going to move forward one space to E3. He's going to move diagonally forward to C6. Once again, we're just going to move these kings on the board until we get to this position. Now it's Chocolate's turn to move, and Chocolate decides to move to coordinate C3, at which the Lemonade King captures the Chocolate King at coordinate C5. Excuse me, that was coordinate C5. Now, that would be good, except for the first rule of chess is this: kings can never, ever be captured. So once again, what happens if I'm playing against you and you're playing as Chocolate and I'm playing as Lemonade? You move to coordinate C5 and I capture your king. Well, what happens to me is I automatically lose the game of chess, because the object of chess is not to capture your opponent's king, but it's to place your opponent's king in a position which we call checkmate. And checkmate requires proof and evidence. And we can accomplish this objective without the need to capture our opponent's king. So let's go back to this position, and we'll talk about the second rule of chess. Now, the second rule of chess simply states this: kings can never, ever be next to each other. So in this example, we're going to pretend it's the Chocolate King's turn to move. He goes ahead and moves to C5. The chess player notices that the Chocolate King has moved to coordinate C5, placing his king next to the Lemonade King, and this chess player is just going to simply say illegal move. Once again, that term is illegal move. He's going to explain why. This is an illegal move because kings cannot be next to each other. Now, what happens to the Chocolate King? He doesn't lose his turn. He simply goes back to where he was, and he gets to make a move that is legal, or that he's allowed to do. So he can move over here to coordinate B6. He can move to A6, A5, A4, B4. He would not be able to move to coordinate C6, as this would be an illegal move. Once again, illegal meaning you are not allowed to do that. It's against the rules, and since we're playing chess, it's against the rules of the game of chess. And again, he would return back to the coordinate which he came from, which was B5. We already said he can't move to C5, so obviously he would not be able to move to C4. Now we're going to want to keep these first two rules in mind, because we're going to want to use these rules to work in our advantage. So continuing on, just keep in mind the first rule is kings can never be captured and kings cannot be next to each other. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to quickly introduce a piece like this. This is known as a rook. It is a fast-moving piece. It is able to move vertically. Right now it's on the G file, so he can move right over here to G4. If we wanted to, he can move all the way up here to G8 or any of the file squares, squares that are open. He can also move right over here to G1. Likewise, he can move side to side or horizontally on any of the squares on the second rank. So he can move here if he wants to H1. He can move over here to F2, or you can move all the way over here to A2, just as long as there's nobody blocking those squares. Now, let's see, we're going to pretend it is Lemonade's turn to move, and we're going to see how we can use these rules to work in our favor. So Lemonade's turn to move. He's going to move right over here to coordinate B2. Now at coordinate B2, we notice that he's attacking all of the squares on the second rank, but he's also attacking all of the squares along the B file. Now notice that the chocolate king is on coordinate B5 and being attacked by that rook. Now whenever you're attacking your opponent's king, you must say this word throughout all of our chess club events, classes, and tournaments. You say this word check. And what you are essentially saying to your opponent is this: I am attacking your king directly. You have one turn to figure out how to get him out of danger. If you're unable to figure out how to get him out of danger, I will win this game. So let's go ahead and see if this king could get out of danger. Well, it turns out he cannot move to coordinate B6 because he's still in that direct line of attack, so he'd have to return back to where he was. Now, we already learned that the second rule of chess, which states that kings cannot be next to each other, so he will not be able to move to C6, C5, or C4. Nor will he be able to move to B4 because we can see that he's still in the direct line of attack. Now the only safe coordinates which this king can move to is coordinate A6, A5, and A4. We're going to have him move to coordinate A5. Now it's going to be Lemonade's turn to move, and he's chosen to move his king over to coordinate C6. Now it's Chocolate's turn to move. Now keep in mind, he will not be able to move to any of these coordinates, B6, B5, and B4. Now the reason why is if he moves here, kings can't be next to each other, and he's in the direct line of attack by the rook. He won't be able to move here. He's breaking that second rule. Kings can't be next to each other, and he's placing his king in a direct line of attack or check. And he won't be able to move here because he's going to be placing his his king in a direct line of attack with the rook putting him in check. So he can only move to A6 or A5. Let's go ahead and move him to coordinate A6, and it's going to be Lemonade's turn to move, at which time he chooses to move his rook to A2. Now notice at A2 he's attacking the king, so we would say check. Check again meaning that the opponent has one turn to figure out how to get him out of danger. If he's unable to figure out how to get him out of danger, this check is going to be known as a checkmate. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if we can get him out of danger. Now if he moves to A7, that's not going to work. He's still in check. He'd have to move back. He cannot move to B7 because of that second rule. Kings can't be next to each other. Nor will he be able to move to these two coordinates. He will not be able to move to B6 and B5 for the same reasons. Now there's only one square that he's going to try to move to, which is A5, but that's not going to help at all because of the rook still attacking all of the squares along the A file. Now this check becomes a checkmate, at which time Lemonade wins this game. Now notice Lemonade was able to win this game by providing proof and evidence. This chess player was able to do this without capturing the opponent's king. And so this game ends and Lemonade would actually win this game. Now just to quickly recap, the first two rules of chess is simply this: kings can never be captured. If I capture your opponent's king, I automatically lose the game because the object of chess is not to capture our opponent's king, but to place it in checkmate. Now the second rule is that kings cannot be next to each other, which we demonstrated very well in this video. And the third thing that we're going to kind of want to keep in mind is that we want to get checkmate on our opponent's king. Checkmate requires proof and evidence. Whenever you're attacking opponent's king directly, we say the word check. And whenever we're attacking our opponent's king directly and the king is unable to escape danger in any way, this check becomes checkmate. And again, checkmate is the ultimate goal of the game of chess. Well, I hope this lesson helped. If you have any questions, please feel free to talk to your chess instructors, or else you can post a question onto this page. Thank you very much. Have a great time playing chess.